Good morning, team. Morning. 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 I'm excited. Well, that makes one of us. Okay, then, shall we begin? Yes, please. Let's get this over with. All right, so tell me, what have you come up with for this arc? Right, so the arc will be set in this place called Dressrosa, and it's going to be the longest one yet. Oh, really? Yeah, we had so many great ideas, we had to fit them all in. More like we couldn't agree or compromise on anything, and now it's going to take years to tell a story that happens in less than a day. Years. How long are we talking? Over 100 chapters? Oh, wow. I'm afraid to ask how long this meeting's gonna be. I'm afraid to ask how long the anime is gonna be. Yeah, that's concerning. Yeah, no comment on that. So, please tell me, what happens in this thing? Right, so we're picking things up where we left off at the end of Punk Hazard with Kinemon, Momonosuke, and Trafalgar Law aboard the Sunny and en route to Doflamingo's kingdom, Dressrosa, to deliver their hostage, Caesar Clown. The guy with the gas and the tongue. Yeah, the guy with the gas and the tongue and the child abduction. Anyway, so they have arranged a meeting to return him to Doflamingo, who, as per Law's request, has abdicated his throne in Dressrosa and resigned as a warlord. Something tells me he didn't do any of those things. I wonder what gave it away. Anyway, when they arrive, Law goes over the plan. There is the Sunny Protection Team, the Caesar Delivery Team, the Samurai Rescue Team, and the Factory Destruction Team. It's cute how Law still bothers planning things. I know, right? Sweet summer child. There won't be enough therapy. Wow, you're all evil. So what kind of place is Dressrosa? Dressrosa. That's what I said. No, it's not. Anyway, it's inspired in Spain and ancient Rome. You know, flamenco, gladiators, corrupt monarchy, passionate murder, and fairies and living toys. I have so many questions. Sure you do. No one cares. Anywho, they get into town wearing disguises so as to not be recognized by the enemy. Oh, interesting. What do they look like? Think of Muten Roshi wearing a suit. So, Luffy's hungry and they go to a restaurant, and there they see a blind man being swindled at the roulette wheel by some Don Quixote pirate. Obviously, Luffy goes to help and there is a fight, and then suddenly the mystery blind man unleashes this force that sends all the enemies into a black hole. Whoa, that surely must be a devil fruit. Lynch, what are you doing? I'm making sangria. It's 9 a.m. Yeah, there is absolutely no way that I'm getting through whatever this is sober. So sangria it is. There we go. I want some too. Yeah, why the hell not? Go get a glass. Yay! Can we lock the door and keep her out? Very rude. Well, I tried. So after the commotion, Zoro notices that Shusui is missing. Oh, do the fairies you mentioned earlier have anything to do with it? They do indeed. So there is a rain in there. Well, Zoro spots the fairy and runs after it, and Kinemon and Sanji notice and run after him because he'll definitely get lost. I'm back! Where were we? Maigo Marimo. Oh! Omae so Maigo inatte kiva joka paikka. Inchi hidoi. Sangria chouda. Right, so we're left with Luffy, Frankie. Luffy and Frankie. Who think the factory might be hidden underneath the Colosseum? Corrida Colosseum. Wait, that's what we're calling it? No, we're not. Yeah, it means bullfight in Spanish, and there is going to be an actual bull in it. Yeah, that's nice and all, but you know that it can also mean jizz, right? Say what now? Come. Don't juice. Okay, we get it. PP extract. Please stop. Penis punch. Okay, yeah, that sounded funnier in my head. Oh, I get it. But no one's gonna sing that, right? Let's sure hope so. Yeah, especially because I was planning on Robin wearing a Colosseum t-shirt with the name on it, like right over her chest. And now I worry might get weird looks. Oh my god, that's just great. There, please choke on it. Thank you. Can we please move on? Yes, where were we? So there is a tournament going on at the bloody Colosseum, and the prize is the Mera Mera no Mi. That was Ace's fruit. Ace's fruit indeed. So obviously Luffy wants it, and he enters the tournament under yet another disguise and under the name of Lucy. Once in, shenanigans ensue, and he meets and sort of befriends a bunch of people that will actually play quite an important role throughout the arc. Ooh, tell me more. We have the Chinjao family, then there's this guy called Cavendish, who looks straight out of Shoujo Kakumayu Utena. True! Oh my god, I haven't noticed that. But he also kind of looks like the love child of Lady Oscar. And you know that guy in Dragon Ball Z, in the Cell games, Karoni. Fuck, yeah! Oh my god, I can totally see that. Fucking hell, well, man. That sure paints a picture. Anyway, what's his deal? He's basically a horse-riding Gemini that hates the worst generation for narcissistic reasons. Oh, and then there is also Bartolomeo, who is another weirdo, and Luffy's #1 fanboy. Also, a very jacked old man named Ricky, and a female gladiator named Rebecca, whom I'm sure Toei is going to over-sexualize even though she is 16. I can't legally comment on that. Shocker. Anyway, she wants the Mera Mera no Mi to take down the Flamingo for a reason. Oh, Bellamy's also gonna be there. Oh, Bellamy! We lost track of him after Jaya. What's he been up to? He's still working for the Flamingo. Yeah, he's either an idiot or a sucker for punishment at this point. Well, he's less of an asshole now. He respects Luffy quite a lot. Well, I guess getting colossally and publicly one shot is rather humbling. Makes sense. We're also throwing in a member of Kurohige's crew to spice things up. I'd say they're spicy enough. I'm already struggling to keep up. What is he even there for? I actually couldn't tell you. But he is. So, the tournament starts with the Battle Royale. There's a lot of fighty-fighty, talky-talky, personal vendettas, public urination, and the battle ends with 4 winners. Bartolomeo, Rebecca, Burgess, and Luffy. And they're all to fight the final battle against, what's his name? Diamante, from the Flamingo's crew. That's so exciting. Oh, it gets better because right before the battle, Luffy is mysteriously approached by a mysterious top hat wearing someone that wants the Mera Mera no Mi for mysterious reasons and asks for Luffy's permission to get it. Bollocks. Can you guess who it is? Sabo. It's very clearly Sabo. No! I mean, it is, but it was supposed to be a shocking reveal. Yeah, well, there is this thing that happens over and over again where a character gets this wonderfully dramatic death scene and then they just pop out of nowhere, inexplicably alive. It happens every single time she works on an arc. No, that may have happened once or twice. Let's see. Pell, Igaram, Pagaya, now Sabo. Oh yeah, Bonchan. Bon Clay's alive. Oh, that one's when you read the cover stories. Pound. Who? She's planning more. She's like a reverse serial killer. See how we should have locked her out? You know what? Sure, he is alive. He is alive. But how come he never reached out to either of his brothers during all those years? Amnesia. Amnesia. We really are going for amnesia here. Yeah, he got his memories back when he read about Ace's death on the newspaper. But he's second in command of the Revolutionary Army. He is? I forgot to mention that. He's on a mission to investigate Mingo's Kingdom of Horrors. Right? That's a pretty big deal. Surely Garp or even Ace would have taken notice and told Luffy at some point. Same thing with Robin. Didn't she spend the last 2 years with them? Sure, gang up on me, will ya? Title of your sex tape. It's just that him being alive really cheapens the dramatic impact that his and Ace's death had in the story, especially in Luffy's whole journey through grief. This is non-negotiable, I don't know what to tell you. Lynch, some help here? Look, find whoever talked her out of having Belmer locked away in a cell instead of shot in the head. Wait, what? I know, fucking mental. Look, she wants Sabo. Let there be Sabo. I'm done. I don't fucking care. And let there be blood holes. Not my problem. When I kill characters, they say death, and the only holes left are the ones on their chests. How could you do that to Ace? But what if? No. Okay, moving on. What has everybody else been up to all this time? Let's rewind a bit. Remember how Sanji ran off after Zoro? Well, he kind of loses track of him because he sees a beautiful woman named Violet that turns out to be an assassin for the Don Quixote pirates. But not really, because we later find out that she was actually a princess of the former monarchy, before Doflamingo took over. And she tells Sanji that Doflamingo hasn't really abdicated his throne nor resigned as a warlord. And that is a problem, because Law is about to go confront him on his own. I feel like you glossed over so many details that none of what you just said makes sense. Well, that's what you get. So Sanji calls Law to tell him about... Wait, you skipped the whole green bit thing. Of course nothing makes sense. You're both skipping the sunny bits. And you're all draining my will to live. Alright, so tell me about this green bit. Right, so Law, Robin, and Usopp were headed for Greenbit, where the handoff was supposed to happen. But Robin noticed some CP0 agents, and red flag, Crimson. So Robin and Usopp set off to investigate, and they came across the Tontata tribe, which is a group of very gullible dwarfs that are also plotting against Doflamingo because he enslaved most of their people. Oh, the thieving fairies! Why are they even slaved for? Fake devil fruit factory. Oh, and while befriending them, Usopp might have told them that he's a descendant of Mont Blanc Noland. Classic Usopp. Let's hope all that lying doesn't blow up in his face. Yeah, let's also not make a religion out of that. While this is happening, Law is off to meet Doflamingo. But that's when things go south, because he does not only encounter Doflamingo, but also the blind gambler we met earlier, who turns out to be Admiral Fujitora. Oh, that's not good. No, it's not. But he makes it very clear that he's there strictly on government's orders, and if it was up to him, the whole of the Shichibukai could go fuck themselves. Oh. Yeah, which is very cool and all, but it doesn't change the fact that he's on the enemy side and Law is very much screwed. Oh, definitely. He's clearly losing the battle, but he manages to keep hold of Caesar by sending the piece of trash back to the Sunny. Wait, I feel like you're skipping things again. How does he even do that? Isn't the Sunny anchored elsewhere? Oh, not anymore, because the Sunny protection team had been attacked by a member of Mingo's crew, Giola, and turned into weird art. And while they were dealing with that, they got a call from Law to come and get Caesar. Wait, hold it there. So Law, who is facing both an admiral and his worst enemy, just rings them up. Yeah. Okay. So they start making their way over with Giola hostage, but then giant fish happen and then Mingo's about to strike the Sunny, but Sanji pulls a Sanji and pops out of nowhere, clashing with Mingo and saving the ship. But then Mingo overpowers Sanji, who is roomed away by Law, and Caesar's back in the Sunny, and then there's a meteor, and long story short, the Sun escapes for Zoe. My head's gonna explode. 30-minute break? Oh, I forgot. The Big Bang Pirates also attacked the Sunny. Make it an hour. Sangria? Yes, please. Got you, mate.